Okay, well, welcome to this training on the dynamic syllabus. We'll kind of go slow through the syllabus and how you can add items to the syllabus, and then I will take some questions. I'll take questions anytime as well, so if you have questions anytime, feel free to ask your questions, and I'll stop and answer them. And then if we, at the very end, if you guys want to stick around for some one-on-one assistance, I'll stick around for that as well. So when you first log into Canvas, you are going to be set up with this screen here. The syllabus is going to be under the syllabus link. It may not be the second link. It could move around depending on how you have your course set up. So depending where you have your course, I have the second link. So if you click on that, you'll be taken to the syllabus page. So there's 3 sections to the syllabus that you kind of need to pay attention to. The top part is kind of traditionally what we've all thought of as a syllabus. It's going to have the general information about your class, the grading policy, possibly have homework assignments in there depending on how you set your syllabus. The bottom piece is what they're now referring to as the dynamic syllabus. So the dynamic piece is what adds kind of some interactivity with the syllabus and the students. As you add assignments, discussions, events, quizzes, they will populate here automatically. As they populate here automatically, they'll also populate into your calendar as well as the student's calendar. And students like it because when they have 4 or 5 courses, they can see in their calendar, they can see every assignment that they have coming up. All their assignments, all their quizzes, all their discussions, and they could kind of balance their workload a little bit easier. So to edit the top part of the syllabus, you're just going to click on this edit link in the top corner. And when you click on that edit link, you're going to be brought to a screen with a rich text editor, and you can format your syllabus however you want to format it. I'm assuming you've taught this course before, so I would probably recommend just copying and pasting your syllabus in. And if you have a syllabus handy, I'm going to just demonstrate it. I will reduce the screen. I'm going to bring over a syllabus from a Word document. Okay, so I have this syllabus here. It's just a template. There's really nothing on there, but it's going to have the typical format that you're going to find in the syllabus with the schedule and the grading procedures and policies, as well as the things that UAB requires to be in the syllabus. From Microsoft Word, if you just go over and hit Control-A, if you're on a Mac, hit Command-A, and then hit Control-C or Command in a Mac, that'll highlight and copy everything. Once you do that, go back to Canvas, click anywhere on the screen, and then do the Control-V. And that's going to paste in your syllabus. From there, you're probably going to need to do some formatting adjustments because it's going to kind of blanket put it in there. It may be extremely large in some sections. So I'll hit Save and just kind of show you what it's going to look like. So if you hit Update Syllabus, you can see it's kind of spaced out really kind of funky. So if you go back in, and you could kind of go in and find places you could kind of adjust the spacing. So you could highlight this, and you could adjust stuff. You could center things. You could adjust it. You could take out some extra spacing. There was some spaces in here I seen, if I could find it. Actually, I could just kind of. It's not letting me on that one. Like right here, I could take out some spaces and kind of bring it up, tighten it up a little bit so it doesn't take up as much space. So that kind of is up to you on how you'd want to kind of format your syllabus. You could also add in a link to your syllabus so students could just download a copy of your syllabus so they have a nice clean copy the way you intended it. If you're going to do that, off on the right you have this little box filled with all kinds of options. You're going to want to click on the files. If you already have your syllabus in your course, you can click on that little triangle. It'll have a drop-down showing your files. If it's in your course, just click on that item, and it'll bring it in as a link. If you don't want it to just have the name of the file, you can type in download syllabus with an S. highlight it, and then click on the name of that syllabus, and then that word then becomes your download link. And then when the students come here and they click on this, they'll be able to download your syllabus and get a nice clean copy of it. If you don't have your syllabus already in your course files, right below files towards the bottom, there's going to be an upload a new file. If you click that, it expands down. Click on the browse option, and you can go over and then find your syllabus wherever it exists in your computer. And then I have a sample syllabus that I put on the computer so I could demonstrate. So if you click on that, hit open, and then it's going to bring it in here. It's going to change the name and use hit upload. And then you have that link as well. And you can, again, just like the other way, you can type in some words, highlight it, and then upload from there, and then it'll change. It'll make that, whatever words you put in there, the download link. Any question on adding text to the syllabus, actually adding the main part of the syllabus? No? The big piece is the dynamic piece. And let me cancel. So the big piece, I'm going to delete this though, so it's a little bit smaller. Not bad. Try that again. Edit. Click in. All. So I wanted to delete that because with that big long syllabus, it's going to push where all the dynamic pieces are, you know, the equivalent of probably 30 pages to the bottom. And for demonstration purposes, it just doesn't really work out that well. So to get items to populate in here, all you need to do is go to your course and start creating assignments. If you create an assignment, and I don't, again, depending on what your course is, will determine what type of assignments you're going to use. You're going to want to either go over and hit Add Assignment, the big green one up top, or you're going to want to hit in the assignment group. So if you've been using Canvas, you may already have assignment groups already created. If you do, you could just add from the assignment group, or you could just hit the big plus assignment. And then you could name it, whatever you're going to name it. So I'm just going to put Test Assignment. And I'm just going to write test in the body for the directions or the actual assignment instructions would go. I'm going to choose a point value for my assignment. I'm just going to say it's worth 10 points. For this case, I'm just going to leave it as assignment groups, but I have no assignment groups. I could go over and add a new one from here if I want to. I'm going to have it displayed as points. I'm actually going to change this to I'll do online submission, why not? I'm going to have a text entry so the students could just copy or just type right into Canvas and answer the question, or and I'm not going to do any of the other pieces. Just to let you know, this box right here, this checkbox for Enable Turn-in Submissions, it's not part of the dynamic syllabus, but this will be disappearing toward the end of this school year. Not school year, the end of this calendar year. So Turn-in will be accessible to you guys still, but it will not be through this checkbox. Side note, you'll have to go to External Tool, and then click Find, and then select Turn It In from the list of items over here. So you would select it from there. Now you're making this a Turn-in assignment. Turn-ins, I guess, has decided they don't want the checkbox. They want it this way. And it does give you guys more options to select what kind of databases the student's assignment is going to be compared to. So then you could select who's going to get the assignment, when is it due, and if you wanted to choose available tos, you can do that as well. Save will immediately just save it, but students cannot view it. If you want to save it so students could see it, you would hit Save and Publish. And I'm not set up with, this is a test environment, so Turn-in is not enabled on my account. So you're going to get this error. Normally you would get a banner across the top, and it would have student submissions. So you would see right here at the assignment all the student entries. You would also have an option for selecting options within Turn-in, which databases do you want to select to. So I've saved the assignment. If I go to my syllabus, now my syllabus has been entered in my dynamic piece. I don't have a due date because I did not choose one. If I go and click on the assignment again and I edit my assignment, I can scroll back down and I could say this assignment is going to be due on the 29th of July, and I'll hit Save. So now when I go back to my syllabus, I'll have a due date on that. If you don't put due dates, it's going to populate to the very bottom of the list. If you have due dates, it'll put it in chronological order. To add a discussion, it's going to be the same process. If you have a discussion in your course, you're just going to go over to discussions. You're going to hit the add discussions. You're going to title your discussion. Test discussions. I'm just going to put test. And then you could have all the different options you want for test discussions. I'm going to make this discussion available from, let's say, I'm going to backdate it to the 8th to, let me go to the 30th. I just clicked the same one twice. 8th to the 30th. I'm just going to make sure, let me go over, I'm going to make this a graded discussion. And I'm going to make it worth 10 points again. It's going to be assigned to everyone, and I should have done this. I should have checked the pointed graded discussion first. So I'm going to redo my dates. I'm going to make it due on the 22nd, but it's going to be available for students to use from the 8th to the 30th. And I'm going to save and publish. So now when I go to my syllabus again, I have my two assignments I've added, my test assignment and my test discussion. And again, they are sorted by chronological order, so this is due first, so that appears first. And I could also add a quiz the same way. If I go to quizzes, I could hit the plus quizzes to add a quiz in the top. I can title my quiz. Test quiz, I'm just going to put over here test. It's going to be a graded quiz. I'm going to have it worth, where's my point value? It doesn't have a point value now because I don't have any questions in it. And I'm going to make it due, I'll have it due on the 31st. And I'm just going to add it. It's going to be available, oh, hit the wrong add button. I'm going to save and publish it. And then now when I go to my syllabus, I now have the 3 items in there. And then when you go to the calendar view, you know, students will see their items on there. So it's going to be color-coded by class, so students will be able to quickly and easily see which assignments they have coming up, which quizzes they have coming up. They could better plan. From your point of view, this is actually kind of nice from this view. If you wanted to if you wanted to change the due date for some reason, there's a couple ways to do it. The more difficult way would actually be to go into your course, go into the quiz or the assignment, edit the quiz or assignment, and then modify the date. But you could always just go over and say, I'm going to now make my quiz because there's a weather emergency. I'm going to have it due the next day. And if you drag and drop it over, it will change the due date of that quiz. So that's it's a handy little feature. Just to keep in mind, if you do that, and you do have available dates, it's available from Thursday to Saturday, but it's due Friday, so you gave them 1 day little grace period. You will change the due date, but you're not changing the available dates. So if you're going to majorly change the due dates, just keep in mind that will not change the available dates. So from here, again, this is global navigation, so I'm going to have to go into my courses again. I was in my design course, and then go back into the syllabus over here. So you can also set in grade weights if you wanted to weight your course, and the weights will appear over here. Right now it says course assignments are not weighted. So I'm going to go over, I'm going to go into the assignments, and I'm going to add another category because it really doesn't make sense to weight one category. So I'm going to add an assignment group, and I'm going to call this one quizzes. I'm going to call this one quizzes. Right now I cannot click into this. To me, it'd make a little bit of sense if I actually could just add a grade weight right here, but I can't. So I'm going to hit save. So now I have my two groups. I'm going to move this quiz down to this other group because the quizzes should be in the quiz group. So I could always go into that assignment and I could have right-clicked on the settings gear and I could have edited and changed the assignment group from that assignment, or you can just click and drag it and rearrange your assignments as well. So to actually add weight groups to your class, what you need to do is you need to go into your grades, and I'm a designer in this course, so I don't have grading privileges, so I'm going to switch courses to show you how you do it. So I'm going to go into my teaching sandbox. I'm going to go into my grades. To enable grade weights, you have to go to the settings gear in grades, go down to set weight groups. Now this is a different course, so I have different number of grade groups or assignment groups. So once you do here, you're going to click onto the enable weight groups, and then you could just click in here and you could set the number of percentage points for each. And then Canvas will automatically tally up the points for each group, and they'll figure all that stuff for you. And once you do that, your syllabus, I'll show you in this course, is going to look a little bit different. So now on that little sidebar, you're going to see what the weight groups are. So students will have that information right there for them. Were there any questions on the dynamic syllabus? Do you guys want to see anything again? Yes?
This is only going to populate if it's graded and you have due dates.
If you don't have due dates, so like this top one over here has a due date. If you go down to the bottom, all these others that are just kind of listed without dates, this is what it'll appear if you don't put due dates. It'll still appear in the syllabus, but they will just be populated at the end of the list. If you add due dates, if I would go to this one, this President's Quiz I created, I'm going to click into it, and I'm going to hit Edit. And I'm going to scan to the very bottom, and I'm going to add a due date. And the due date's going to be, let's have it set for the 22nd. I'm going to hit Save. I'm going to go back to my syllabus. Oops, not home. Syllabus. So now my President's Quiz will move from the somewhere down in this area to the top of the list, and then it'll be ordered chronologically from there. Events will also appear over here. So if you create events, they will also populate into your dynamic syllabus by date. To create an event, you're going to go to the calendar, and I could go over and say I'm going to create an event for Saturday. Maybe there's some event going on in Birmingham, or there's something going on in the world that relates to your course and you want the students to be aware of. Maybe you guys are going to meet somewhere to go to a museum or something. I'm going to create an event, and I'm going to title it, let me just title it Meeting. And I can go over and say it's on the 23rd because that's when I clicked. The meeting is going to be from 12 to 1. And the location, you could pick the location, UAB. And I got to change the calendar because you have to pick the course that you have. So there's your calendar, which is whatever personal stuff you put on there. And then each course is also going to have a calendar. So you want to make sure you pick the one that this applies to. And I'm going to put it on my teacher one. And I'm going to hit Submit. So then it appears right there. And this will also, in my teacher sandbox, it'll appear on my syllabus. And then it's going to be right there. So some teachers, because of the unique, every class is a little bit different and a little bit unique. A traditional Canvas assignment or quiz or test doesn't always apply. So some of the instructors, professors are using events, and they're titling the event what their assignment or whatever the action is they want to appear in their dynamic syllabus. So they're doing it that way, and that's perfectly okay. You could also create assignments from the calendar as well. So when you went to the calendar, Canvas has usually 5 or 6 different ways to do something. So I'm trying not to show you too many different ways because I find it confuses myself once I start going into all the different ways. So I just wanted, because I had this up, I could also create an assignment by just going to the calendar, clicking on a date, and then changing it this way. So It doesn't give me the fine-tuning options. If I want the fine-tuning options, I have to hit the more options, but I can create assignments from the calendar as well. And those will, again, anything you make, whether it's on the calendar, whether it's from the actual assignment, the discussion, or the quiz, all of that populates into the syllabus and also populates on the calendar. Were there any questions? Anything you wanted me to demonstrate more of?
Would you suggest using the grouping function? Do you think it's easier for a student to navigate it with all of their discussions are in a group and all of their quizzes are in a group?
If you, for assignment groupings, it depends how you arrange your course. Most of the courses I see, they usually let me bring up the course and I'll kind of hide some things. So most of the courses I see, come into settings, I'll go into navigation. So on the top is what the students will actually see. So a lot of the courses that I see, they usually keep announcements. This way, if you ever make an announcement, the students will be able to see it. Syllabus is usually shown, and then from there, most of the classes I see hide. You know, this is hit or miss depending if you use media. This is usually what I see in a course. It kind of limits what the students actually see and what the students do. So then most of this is kind of I don't mind going into this at all, but it's kind of tad off topic. So in modules is a way to organize your course. And if you've used modules, they're really, really handy. I didn't like them at first, but once I actually started playing with it, I kind of actually find them pretty nice. So if anyone in here wants an actual one-on-one or a follow-up training, contact me on my business card. I could come on out. I could meet you individually here, wherever your office is, and show you guys modules. But usually they hide all of the assignment groups. They'll hide the assignments, they'll hide the discussions, they'll hide the quizzes, and then they'll put in from modules. Let me save this real quick. And they'll put in those items in the modules. So this top stuff is what students will see. Right now, the announcements is grayed out because I don't have any announcements, so it's not going to show. But these top things are the only things students will have access to. So if I click into my modules, generally what's done is they'll put in the assignments, discussions, and quizzes into the modules, and this is how students get access to your course items. And this is nice because it'll add that structure to your class. It'll kind of add a flow to your class. You could put pages in here, so you could get one page. You could put in a document, maybe a resource, or maybe there's a part of a textbook that you guys use or a web page. And when you do this, let me just click into this one. So if they click into a module, I'm just going to jump to the second one. And this is from Dropbox. So one of the nice things about adding a document, a Word document, a PDF into a module, it'll automatically appear as your document. So it's not going to be a link where students have to download. They'll just get the document. So they can read the document, and they could go over at the bottom of the screen, you have a next button. And the next button will take them to the next item in your module. And you don't have to think of a module as a module. To me, it makes more sense as a chapter or a unit. And then from here, this is just something I'm demoing as a possible add-on into Canvas. So then there was this activity that I created in SoftChalk, and then they could do the activity, and then they hit the next button. And there's a video I added. Maybe they could watch a video, and I embedded the video in. They could just click and watch it, so it's all contained in Canvas. And they go to the next button. And then I'm going to finish it off with a quiz that all relates to that material that I had in Canvas. So again, this could add structure to it because you have options in modules. So if I go to that module and I click on the settings gear and I hit the edit button, I could title the module. I could lock the module. So if this is module 2, maybe I don't want the students in module 2 until a certain date in my class. So I could lock that module up and students can't get in there until, say, 2 weeks in the class. So they can't mess around. I could also add requirements. If this is maybe the second module, maybe I don't want the students going into module 2 until they've actually completed module 1. So I can put in, I've got restrictions in there for they must complete all the requirements. They have to move through the module in sequential order, so they can't jump around my module. They have to move right through. This is an either or checkbox. So this one is I have to complete all of the items. You can go over and add a requirement as well. Well, this is the first module, I can't. Let me go to the second module. So in the second module, you can have some different options. So this one here is I could add a prerequisite. I could say they need to do module 1 before they can enter module 2. So you could really structure your class nicely with modules. And then you hide the discussion tab, you hide the assignments, you hide the quizzes. Because if you leave it open, if you have the available dates, students can't go willy-nilly through it. But if they could still go through your module or through your course and kind of see what you have there. So this does kind of limit the access and control